Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of the Terrence Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about the basic archetype of Libra. Now, Libra. What is Libra? Libra is cardinal air. So cardinal is being initiating and creating new ways of, and in this case, air represents thinking and communication. All air signs think and communicate. It's just with this one, it likes to initiate and create new ways of thinking and communicating. So that has to deal with, if you're creating and initiating new ways of something, then you have to have a partner or something or someone else there to communicate these thoughts to. You know what I'm saying? So when we get into Libra, that's the basic archetype of Libra. So that could go into a lot of different spheres of reality. How you can relate to someone on a one-on-one basis. How we could create fairness in what we're talking about. How we can compromise, and it could be a disgruntled compromise. People think compromise mean trying to compose with someone you dislike. No, a compromise. You got Libras out here who are compromising in a disgruntled way. You know what I'm saying? They just motherfucking may kill you because they feel like that's the fair thing to do, and that create balance on Earth in their situation. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta know what words you're using and know what actuality of them is. Just because they got a definition, that don't mean that's the purpose of these goddamn words. You know what I'm saying? People have different outlooks on this motherfucking planet. I seen it. Now, when we talk about motherfucking, as far as, okay, hold on, all right, as far as motherfucking the basic Libra archetype, now we have to talk about the exaltation. The exaltation here is Saturn, because you know what I'm saying, when on the ecliptic right here, and if you are the Earth, you know what I'm saying, you are above the ecliptic, so you are in the area of what was low is now high. You know what I'm saying? And what was high is now low. So on Earth, as an Earth sign, aka sun sign, having the Earth being absorbed in the light of when it was being traveled through Libra, you are able to look, when you walk outside and look up, you're actually looking down at the sun. You know what I'm saying? So from an Earth, if you was Earth is looking down at the sun, and it's looking up at Saturn. So Saturn is heaven for Libras, because Saturn is exalted here. Saturn falls. Saturn is underneath the Earth if you was born on Earth as an Aries, but it's above the Earth if you was born on Earth as a Libra. So right now with Saturn, how one gains structure in their life, and how one put boundaries and restrictions and limits at, and also where they're going to experience boundaries and restrictions and limits. So right here, this is what air loves to do, because air is, look at air. Air is all over the Earth. It's not outside of Earth, but it consumes everywhere in the Earth. So it gets to do this to the max in Saturn. It gets to think and communicate about any and every single proportion amongst Earth matters. You know what I'm saying? This is what makes Libras abstract. This would make Libras have lots of thoughts. This is what makes them able to be the idea in all relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because they have the idea on how to structure communication. They have the idea, because this is heaven to them. So this is things that they look up to. Just like a kid in Disneyland or wherever, all the place that you always wanted to be at. You know what I'm saying? So what happens here is Saturn, and Libra is cardinal air. So cardinal air loves to initiate and create new ways of how to think and communicate about how to gain structure in your life, or what to put boundaries and restrictions and limits on. You know what I'm saying? Or what are we going to experience boundaries and restrictions on? So they gain structure in their life by being like relationships, or connecting with people on a communicative level. You know what I'm saying? Building bonds with people, because Saturn is part of building. You know what I'm saying? And they like to know what boundaries and restrictions and limits that we can't go. What thoughts that we don't need to think about. What ideas that we don't need. You know what I'm saying? What we don't need to communicate about. You know what I'm saying? And what's needed for the situation we are on amongst the Earth. See, this is heaven for that archetype. You know what I'm saying? It's heaven for Libras. They're able to communicate and think and initiate new ways and create new ways of doing that amongst all of all issues that's dealing with gaining stability in your life, gaining structure, building bonds, you know what I'm saying, on what to do, on what not to do, how to connect with people, how to create fairness, law, structure, how to, you know what I'm saying, how to stabilize and think. These are things to think about. Now, they may not always get put into action, because it's the sun. The sun, this is your lower self. But because the sun sign, aka the earth sign, is Libra, so it's being thought about and communicated about. So it's being manifested into situations that this is their outlook. So they feel comfortable when they can gain structure in their life with someone else, or gain structure when they can communicate and think about ways on how to gain structure in their life and how to set boundaries and restrictions and limits on things that they need in their life and things that they don't need in their life. Now, when it comes to that, this is heaven. You know what I'm saying? Saturn archetype is heaven. They always like to work on things. Work on things. That's what Saturn do. And when Libra, it's cardinal air, so they can work on communicating, work on initiating, creating new ways of thinking and communicating. Work on that's relationships. Work on balance. You know what I'm saying? So, and the way they do that, they feel like is always the right thing to do, and the righteous way of, and the go-through thing to do is their home planet, Venus. So anytime you have a home planet, it sits on the right side of the earth, if you are the earth. So this is on the right side of the earth. So the way they do their highest aspirations, now they may not always get their high, you may not always be at Disneyland. You may not always be at the studio. You may not always be at the best, the hottest club out right now. You may not always be able to be at your best relative house right now. So that's how the exaltation play. You're not always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? You're not always going to be able to gain structure in your life as an air Libra. You're not always going to be able to know boundaries and restrictions and limits as an air. You know what I'm saying? Until someone put a big roadblock there and you get suffocated in certain type situations to the point that you feel like you need to release. You need to pop that balloon and release that air. You know what I'm saying? See how the exaltation will play you? Now when we go, but you always feel like the right thing to do was Venus. How one relate, how one love, how one appreciate, how one value, how one relate to others. So you always going to feel like that's the righteous thing to do. The right thing to do is to relate to others, compromise, you know what I'm saying, appreciate, to value something, a person, place, or thing. You know what I'm saying? You always feel like that's the go-to thing to do. And a lot of times that make you very likable, very relatable as a person, because you're doing that in a very communicative way. If your sun, aka earth sign, is in Libra, you're initiating, creating new ways of how to think and communicate, and you always feel like the right way to do that is in a very relatable way, very diplomatic way, in a very harmonious way, in a very loving way, in a very appreciative and valued way. You know what I'm saying? Because Venus is on the right side. Now, what's beneath you, your dark side, what's under you, is the sun. Now the sun is sleep. The sun is not conscious, and the sun is the conscious awareness being. You know what I'm saying? Now the sun is sleep here. So the sun is in the subconscious awake now and sleep in the yang realm and woke in the yin realm now. So right now the sun is dreaming. It's in the subconscious. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it want to act on things, sometimes it don't. It depends on how I feel. So right here, when you have, this is like your lower side. So your sun is your actions, the way you act, the vitality, your energy. So a lot of times, sometimes you may lack energy. You may lack vitality. You may lack the timing to act on something. So your actions want to act on communicating about it or thinking about it instead of acting about it or acting on the action of it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it play out like that sometimes. So a lot of times you're able to get a lot done due to your relationships and who you know and how you can communicate and come across. But a lot of times there's a lot of things you need to do yourself, that you need to get up and actually do it. You know what I'm saying? I know if you're a Libra, you know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of things that you talk about every day that you do, but you don't necessarily be doing it the way you know you should be doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's not your fault. It's just your power here is to think and communicate and initiate new ways of how to do that, or even talk yourself into doing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just because the sun is underneath you. You know what I'm saying? The sun is the vitality and how you see. And a lot of times you may not see that it take this amount of actions to get from point A to B to point C. You may just want to do the practical thing, or the step-by-step, or to build something, or to, you know what I'm saying, gain structure in your life first. You know what I'm saying? You might want to do that first, which is heaven, but you might not get that, so you might jump to the right thing to do, and you might feel like you need to harmonize with others, or be a highly relatable person, or love and appreciate something, or a place, or a person. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, because Venus is on the right side of you, in order to confiscate what you're lacking from what you're not getting from the sun, because it's your dark side. And a lot of times you could become super action orientated. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes you could become having a super vitality. You had them days that you get enlightened about a bunch of shit that you put into action, and then it gets filtered through the loving and appreciated way, and then it could get through to heaven, to the point that you experience stability in your life, and you experience boundaries and restrictions on limits on things that you didn't need. Now, when we get to the left field, though, left field is, left field is Mars, because Mars rules Aries. You know what I'm saying? So left field is Mars. So what is Mars? Mars is intentions, willpower, desires, aggressiveness. So anytime someone too aggressive, someone got too many damn intentions, they don't even want to talk about it, they just intended to act on every single fucking thing. Anytime a person is freaking the passion, they got a passion for nothing, they just passionate for no reason, these type of people could throw you off. You know what I'm saying? These type of people is left field for you. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you jump left field is because you're too passionate about something. When Libras become super passionate about shit, super aggressive, super uncompromising, you know what I'm saying? This becomes to look left field to others from this Libra. You know what I'm saying? But naturally, this is left field to Libras. You know what I'm saying? This is left field to Libras. So anytime someone has got, they dig the willpower, they understand the desire, but they like, damn, where's the pleasure in that desire? You know what I'm saying? If that desire not even gonna pleasure you, what's the point of wasting your time desiring that? That's how Libra. So they won't even act on certain things because the sun is debilitated. It don't take them a lot of actions to do certain things, and they won't even waste a lot of their energy and actions on certain things unless it's something that they value, love, and appreciate, which is their right thing to go to, because Venus is on the right side. And then that's how they experience their highest exaltation. That's how they gain structure in their life. That's how they gain stability and put boundaries and restrictions on things by showing love and appreciating the value and relating to others in some type of way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the basic archetype of Libra. You know what I'm saying? As a nutshell, as you coming into this existence, you being an earth sign, aka sun sign Libra, because the earth was traveling through Libra and the sun was shining the light where it was at. So that's when you woke up, that's the way you see the world, as a sun sign, aka earth sign Libra. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. Goddamn, air.